It's time to sip that coffee, get your mind right, and vibe with the queen herself. We're dishing out hot topics, wellness tips of the day, and things that make you go, Let's get this palace party started.
All right, welcome, kings and queens. Happy Wednesday, baby. We are live in full effect at the palace, and you already know what time it is. You already know. Hold on, let me run that back because I think some of y'all didn't get the message. It is time to get your ass out of bed and tune into the palace, honey. Let's go. Happy Wednesday. All right, thank you. Welcome, kings and queens. We are ready, honey. I got my coffee. And wait, what am I sharing? Hold on now. Wait a minute. We got something playing in my background. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second. Okay, let me know if I'm coming through clear. We had a little hiccup. I was flexing too hard. Give me a one if I'm coming through in that chat. Welcome to the Palace Morning Show. If this is your first time here, it is not by mistake, honey. It is by design. I see you, Cricket 22. Red Ann, Butterfly Kisses, welcome. Lala coming in, tuning in straight from the UK. As always, Queen, we appreciate you dialing in and pulling up on your lunch break. Always be cute, especially on a Wednesday. Muted Expressions is in the building. 1901 Casanova. Good morning, mi amor. Yes, Monique, I see you. Grace, darling, finally pulled up. Grace, we missed you. We missed you, Grace. We really did. Deborah Jackson, I see you, honey. Courtney, welcome, new member. Linda Gamble holding it down. One of my top moderators is in the building, y'all. Make sure you show Linda Gamble a little bit of love. As always, we appreciate everything you do. And we got Marcel's Tits pulling up from the rear. Marcel's Tits, we appreciate you in the chat. Oh, let's see. Robin T. Val Allen. Who else we got? A. Williams, Monique, Karma Girl, Kim Agnew, Grand Rising to you, and Simone Wealthy as always. We got Cinnamon Swirl in the back. That's my what? Hold on, y'all. Cinnamon Swirl's my co-host. I told you I had a hell of a cup of coffee. I'm out of that pumpkin spice. I'm on that peppermint mocha today. What's in your cup? What's in your cup? That's my question to y'all. Let's see. Who else we got up in the house? Miss B, Melinda Butler. Good morning. Well, listen, we got a hell of a show this morning for you. And I am ready to get this party started. And if you are, let me bring my co-host to the stage. Okay, Cinnamon, get it together, girl. Let me welcome my co-host to the stage. Hold on, y'all. Let me get it right. Good morning, Cinnamon. How are you?
Good morning, Queen Sheba. I'm great. How are you?
I am good. What you got in your cup today, Cinnamon?
I don't have anything yet. I just left the track. It's 23 degrees in Virginia. It's freezing, and I need a cup of Java.
Wait a minute. It's what?
23 degrees.
Where about?
In Virginia.
And you got up and walked?
I did. I needed to release some stress.
Girl, you better. Y'all, that's a standing ovation in the chat. Send some love out to my co-host. She got up and walked by all of us. We're making excuses. I love it, but go ahead.
Yeah, my son, my youngest is 16, and he's trying to smell himself, so he kind of stressed me out this morning. So I had to go. I ran out the door. I was like, let me get to the track, get some exercise, get some good conversations in with my God, and I feel so much better.
I'm
glad I went out.
I'm glad you went out, and we glad you here. We glad you pulled up. You are a baby. You are living, what do they call it, y'all? Example of how to push through. So we appreciate you, Queen. And we also got Mildred in the background. Welcome to the stage, Mildred. Good morning, Queen.
Good morning. I'm making me a pot of coffee right now as we speak.
Hold on, you said a pot or a cup?
I'm doing a pot.
Oh, wait a minute. We got a traffic jam up in here. She said a pot, y'all.
There's only 2 people in the house that even entertain coffee. That's me and my son.
Well, what kind of beans you using over there?
Oh, no. This is not that type.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on.
No beans.
Never mind. Never mind. Oh my God, y'all, we are started. We are already on one today. Well, we got a hell of a lineup, ladies. I am ready to go. We got some hot topics coming up that we've got to talk about. And we got a thought provoking question of the day. We got a lot of stuff going on today. But most importantly, we're going to go ahead and check in. If this is your first time, honey, we always check in before we get the morning party started. I just want you to take a couple of seconds and think about how are you feeling in this moment? And if you ain't there yet, what are you aiming to be? Give me one word. What's going on with you? Cinnamon, what's up? How you feeling?
Relax. I'm relaxed now.
Relaxed
Relax.
now. Okay. I'll take it. I'll take it. Mildred, what's going on with you? How you feeling?
Renewed.
Okay, we got relaxed. We got renewed. Deborah Jackson says that she's feeling joyful. For those of you that are in the chat, baby, you don't have to stay in the bushes. I just dropped the link if you want to call in and just let us know how you feel and check in. Hera Moore says she's feeling praiseful. We got ready. Seems like you're ready. D, yes. Good morning, Journey to Jasmine. Always be cute is feeling fantastic. We got spent. Oh, that means you're tired. Tired, muted expressions. Well, you know what? It's all right to relax. We got some thankfuls coming in at the rear. And guess who just pulled up from the UK? Our girl, Lala, is in the building. Welcome,
Thank
Lala.
you for having me, Queen. I'm a little bit under the weather.
Okay, well, what word are you feeling today? We just checking in.
You know what? Blessed and grateful. Alhamdulillah, always. I can't explain. I have so much to tell you, but I'm beyond blessed and grateful.
You know what? That's a good place to start in the morning. Can we all agree, y'all? Can
That's
we all
right.
agree?
Yes, I can agree. Blessed.
That's a good place to start in the morning. If you're tuned in on your morning commute, if you're in your house or waking from home, or if you just don't work because you don't give a damn, blessed. That's a good place to start because some of y'all don't work, but that ain't none of my business, honey. Get it how you get it, as long as you ain't getting it from me. Am I right?
It's all right.
All right. Well, you know what? It is about that time. If you give me a second, we are going to shift, y'all. We got to shift into our financial wellness tip of the day. So give me a second. I got to prep the stage for Cinnamon.
Yeah.
Everybody, man.
Everybody.
What you got for us this morning, Cinnamon? Everybody, man, because we begin to the morning. So welcome. We got our Cinnamon is about to share her financial wellness tip with you all this morning. What you got for us, Queen?
So it is a commandment of God for us to generate generational wealth. And one of the ways you can generate generational wealth is home ownership. And I am aware that a lot of us in the palace are homeowners, but some are not. So what I want to say to you is that I am committed to helping those who need help how to purchase a home. My background is 30 plus years in the mortgage business. I have been an underwriting manager, a senior underwriter, and I started as an underwriter. I can approve FHA loans, VA loans, conventional loans, bond loans. So therefore, I want to help my people start to build generational wealth by spreading and sharing my knowledge. So I want everybody in the palace that is interested to get some questions you may have for me in the future, because there will be a future YouTube where you can ask questions and we can work together to start obtaining generational wealth for you and your family.
We love it. Can you give us just one tip? So that we love it. What's one thing they should at least come to the table prepared to do or have ready if they're going to have a conversation with you, because we got to make sure we're setting them up for success, right? Because we have some
Yes.
people that could absolutely be starting from scratch, and then you may have to send them back to the drawing board so that we can
Yes.
save steps. What's one thing they need to have in decency and in order before they approach you? One thing.
Know where you stand, first of all, in your credit situation. Know your credit score. Know your credit profile. A credit score is good, but you need to know your credit profile, because we look at your credit score, but also my job is to look at your credit profile to make sure you are credit worthy. So I would say my first step for everyone is to know if you're credit worthy by knowing your credit profile. And you can start today by going online to the 3 major bureaus and downloading a copy of your credit report. It is free until December 31st. Please take advantage of that so you know where you stand and you know where you need to start. If you need to start repairing your credit, you need to know that before you go out and sign a sales contract to purchase a home.
All right, folks, you heard it here first on the Palace Morning Show. Know where you stand. It's similar to dating. Know where you stand. You know, when y'all are online or when you're on your phone on those apps scrolling left to the right, you going through those profiles, right? Everything people need to know about you is in those profiles. So flip the switch and let's apply it to finances and credit and home purchasing homes. Know where you stand. Know what's in your profile. Similar to Capital Wallet. Capital One, what's in your wallet? It gets no simpler than
Absolutely.
that. What's in your wallet? I love it. Thank you, Cinnamon. We are going to transition everybody to a hot topic of the day. Are y'all ready?
Let's
need a
go.
yes.
Yes.
Amen. Y'all little
Let's
drop.
go.
Come on, panel.
Oh,
Let's
can I
go,
say one more
Queen.
thing? Can I say one more thing, Queen Sheba?
Uh-huh.
So for anyone in the chat that does not understand what an underwriter does, the underwriter is the person who is the final decision on your mortgage loan application. So I get to say yes or no if you get to purchase your home. So this is, I do it. So that's how critical my job is, the most important and the most critical. I have the final say, so I have lending and credit authority. I get to say if you get to purchase that home, yes or no, approved or denied. So that's what a mortgage underwriter does.
All right. All right. So she's the final decision maker. She's the HBIC. When your come through and your application comes through, Cinnamon is the one that says yay or nay. Just a little bit of financial wellness tips today to carry you through the rest of the week. So think about it, and make sure that you reach out to her. How can they find you?
We're going to get back to that later. We need to have a discussion. We need to have a discussion. Okay.
You just want to drop your Instagram? You don't need me for that.
Well, my Instagram is it's actually Cinnamon Squirrel, but then also it's going to start with Every Woman 8, and underneath it says Cinnamon Squirrel.
In the back, and then I'll
Okay.
Okay. All right. So we'll make sure we put that up. We'll make sure we put that up on the screen for you all. But we're going to shift into the hot topic of the day, you guys. This came through. I caught this. That came through last night. Y'all, Neo's ex, Crystal Renee, is allegedly dating Safari. Is Safari? And your question, is he the hot thing on the block? Oh, not too many people agree. Let me start with you, Mildred. What are your thoughts? They're dating. Mildred, what are your thoughts? Can y'all hear me?
I can.
I can.
Okay, y'all, come on, panel. We got to come on now.
No. Safari is not hot. I'm not sure why they want a prancing pony as a man. To me, he's got just too many feminine tendencies. We'd be fighting over the mirror. No, sir. No, I couldn't.
Okay, too feminine. What do y'all think in the chat? Is Safari giving off femininity? All of his beautiful femininity? Or is it, okay, Cinnamon Swirl, what are your thoughts? Crystal Renee, Neo's ex, hold on. Going from Neo to Safari, is that a win or a loss?
That's a loss. What a waste of time. He's so immature. as a man. He has tendencies of a teenage young man, not a grown ass man, if you ask me. Big waste of time. She is actually going in the wrong direction.
Okay. But according to Muted Expressions, his penis is the hot thing on the block, they say. So when it comes to does that change your mind?
No, no.
Oh my God, that is so immature thinking.
Wow.
How do you check it?
Wow.
I don't know.
Wow.
Um,
Wow.
you cannot base a man's penis. No.
Says
Now, of
who?
course, no, that cannot be the standard that we have, is the size of his penis. Now, believe me, yes, that's good, but that is not a quality. I mean, that can be on your list, but it can be a quality that we start with.
Okay,
We
let
have
me
to
ask
look.
the chat. Let me ask the chat. Hold on, and we're gonna go to Lala. But Cinnamon, I want you to finish your thought. To the ladies and the men in the chat, when you looking, what you looking at first? Are you looking at the size of his penis first? Or are you trying to boop boop boop? Is your barometer looking at that first? And keep it real, y'all. Don't lie. Go ahead, Cinnamon, because a lot of them are saying, "Listen,
Do you understand that big dick energy will tear your life apart? Don't get stuck on that. Look at the quality of the man and not the size of his penis. Because a lot of men that have extremely large penises are F-boys. You don't want an F-boy. Let's keep it real. They will tear your life apart. Leave you with some babies and tear your life apart.
Journey to
Let's not.
Jasmine claims she's looking for character." Girl, you need to stop. I'm just kidding, Journey to Jasmine. I know I could play with you. All right. So, Lala, what are your thoughts when it comes to Crystal, Renee, and Safari?
I think it's so sad. I'll be honest. I think it's sad. That guy's toxic man child. He has no growth in him. He jumps from relationship to relationship. And he is, to me, a pathetic person. And he shows how pathetic he is because he has no sense of reality or care about women, the way he treats them. And I think any woman that sees how he treats women on national television and then thinks, oh, I got a chance, let me go for him, I think she has low self-value within herself.
That's a fair assessment. And the quality, D says she's looking at the quality of a man. Journey to Jasmine says she's going for character first. But how do y'all know that? How do look, and I'm just saying, for those of you that are saying all of these beautiful, nice things, it's not that I disagree. How do you really know who you dealing with in the first 3 months? But let me, Simone Wealthy, we are talking all things Safari and Crystal Renee. Upgrade or a downgrade, in your opinion? What are your thoughts about the whole saga?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's just a waste of energy. I mean, is it just to try to make some people jealous, like her ex and maybe his ex? It makes no sense, you know? I mean, it's just a waste of energy. He's not worth it. I mean, everything is out there about him. She knows everything. So to me, I think maybe they're just trying to make their exes jealous because he's definitely not worth it. And honestly, in my opinion, she ain't either, but that's a whole nother show.
Okay. I appreciate that. Muted Expression said, well, maybe she's having fun only and using him as a dildo. Have you ladies ever just had a good time?
I was gonna say that. Maybe I was gonna say
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Steve.
Yeah.
Maybe it's for good time, not long time, you know, because she came out of a really toxic marriage. So maybe she just wants to have a little bit of fun with him and keep it pushing because she's got children too.
How many kids she got? 3,
I
4?
think they have three or four.
And he got 3, right? Or 2?
Now he's got 2.
Okay. Do men tend to have more fun than women when it comes to dating? Are women too serious? Let me just ask y'all. When women enter into the dating realm, you're in the first 90, 120, 120 days. That's 4 months, y'all, into dating. Do you think women walking in too serious? Have women been conditioned to come in too serious? Or are men just having more fun? Who do you think enjoys the dating process more, men or women?
Me, I would say men. Men are out here doing the most
What's the most?
Acting just like they are the, the be and end all, acting like that well, it's true now. There's more men than there's more women there than there is men. So nowadays men have so many options in the dating pool, so they're out here doing the most. And when I mean that, they jump from woman to woman, they sleep who they want to sleep with, they play mind games with who they want to play mind games with, and they keep certain women, on that playing field, and they're just enjoying themselves. Whereas women, they want to settle down, they want to get married, they want to have children, so they are a bit more serious depending on the age where they're at in their life. So for me, I feel like men have more fun than women, but
Okay.
that's just my opinion.
Well, Diego says women are just way too serious when it comes to dating. And y'all, we're talking about the 3 to 4. We're still talking. We're kind of merging it all in. We're talking about Safari, but we're also talking about just dating in general. The first 3 to 4 months. Mildred, are women too serious, or are men just know how to have a good time? What are your thoughts?
A little bit of both. I think that definitely women are too serious. I think they should go into it looking like this is a good time and a sort of interview, more or less, vet them. But in the meantime, don't invest your feelings, not right away. Just have a good time.
Okay. Have a good time. Leading with have a good time. Go into it like an interview. What's a complete deal breaker? First date that'll cause you on the panel, you in the chat to say, hell no, I'm not calling them back. Baby, don't even text my phone. A deal breaker. I'm gonna give y'all a couple of seconds to think about it, but let me go to this. D said, if it's all she wants and he has good D, then have fun, girl. My second question is, what's good D? What constitutes good D? We're gonna come back to that. First, deal breaker. When we think about deal breakers, first date that'll cause you to cut somebody off, go completely ghost on their ass. What's a deal? Oh, Journey to Jasmine said, chewing with your mouth open. Ooh, close your mouth. Simone Wealthy, deal breaker.
Oh, that's funny. Oh gosh, I have a couple, but I would say, where they're at as far as if they're a Christian or not. I don't know. Someone who doesn't believe and they believe something else, that's probably a deal breaker. And the second runner up would be if they got 4, 5 different baby mamas, like Tamar Braxton's fiance off again and everything.
Y'all hear that, man? They don't want you if you got all them kids. Don't nobody want you well, I ain't gonna say don't nobody want you. Simone, well, because somebody wanted you. That's how you got them kids. But Simone said, if you got all them damn kids, she is not going back. You not getting a second date. Lose her number. La, deal breaker. Coming out the gate, first gate. What's gonna get them cut off?
For me, it would be not serious. No ambition in life, not God-fearing, no willingness to grow. That is a deal breaker for me. Like, the more I conversate with you and the more you're just one-dimensional, I'm not interested. It's a wrap for me. And also baby mamas, ex-wives, or all this, a lot of drama I can't do. Like, any person that comes with drama is not the one for me. That's a biggest deal breaker for me. Drama.
I agree. Drama. We can't do the drama. But Sandra just threw me for a loop, y'all. Do you see the comment I put on the screen? Sandra said a deal breaker for her is no money on that date. Wait a minute, Sandra. You're gonna have to come up here and who you dealing with that's showing up to the first date with no damn money? Sandra, you gotta come up here and explain yourself.
Warning. Evacuation in
Otherwise, we gotta
progress.
evacuate the
Leave
building,
the
honey.
building.
Sandra, we gotta know what's going on. Sandra
Well,
out here on dates with folks that ain't got no money. Wait a minute. Listen, deal breaker, cinnamon swirl. That's gonna get him ghosted, cut off. Don't call me, baby. Don't even look for my number. First date. What you riding with?
Disrespectful behavior.
Give us an example.
Taking a woman on a date and you have wandering eyes.
Oh,
I believe that when a man takes a woman on a first date, they need to make sure they pay attention to the woman that they're on the first date with. They don't have roaming eyes. And actually, when I go out with my husband, I see it a lot. And I don't know if they're on the first date, but I see that the men are very much eyeing other women and not paying attention to the woman that's in front of them. And I think that's very disrespectful. And whether it's your first date, your last date, your marital date, just any situation, I think that being disrespectful in that way would cause you to get cut off.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a really good one. Thank you. Hey, listen, Sandra, we dropped the link in the chat. You got to pull up, baby. Go to the janitor's closet if you at work. Go to the bathroom, the stairwell. You need to click that link because we want to know what happened on that first date when that man did not have that money. Journey to Jasmine says low vibrational sexual talk up front. Ooh, like, hey, you sure looking good, girl. Something like that, Jasmine. So I hope y'all are listening. Journey to Jasmine, guys, says she does not like that low vibrational ass sex talk up front. So for me, a deal breaker is table manners. If you can't hold your fork right, if I don't know, if you don't know, like, I don't know, table manners. And I hope y'all know what I mean. Like,
I understand what you mean.
You know what I'm talking about?
I understand. Okay. I know exactly what you mean. Yes.
Okay.
How they hold their fork. Because if you ever notice, if you look at some of the movies about slavery, do you realize how slaves were taught to eat? And when I see people present day eating like they're bent over and they hold their utensil incorrectly, it's so much of it's a deal breaker. So I absolutely understand what you mean by that.
If you don't know what I mean, y'all need to Google or go to YouTube and how some men hold their forks. It's like brutish. Mm-hmm. I know it's petty, but for me, that would be a deal breaker. Diego says bad breath, child, on the first day. You know what? Especially if it's coming from across the table. Now, what our grandma used to say: if I smelled it, I know you can smell it. Is that... Oh Lordy! Look, what about one more? And this is not just on a date. This is within a friend group. I will never hang out with you again if I feel like you were trying to get something free. And you trying to complain. What do y'all feel about that? People that go out to eat start complaining so that they don't have to pay. What are your thoughts on that in the chat?
I hate it.
Panel.
Hate it.
I hate it. Can't stand it. I had a couple that I went to church with, and every Sunday we would go out to eat after church. And they would eat their meal, and then they would start with the complaining with the waiter. Oh, it wasn't cooked well. It wasn't this and that. But never mind the fact that you have eaten most of it. I cannot stand people who do that. I can't stand it at all. I had to uninvite myself from going out to eat with them. I could not take it.
Yeah. Anybody else on the panel want to chime in on that real quick before we move on?
I would just want to say it's uncouth. I think that's so embarrassing and disgusting to do that in any type of public space, especially in a restaurant where you ordered the food. Why did you not say at the beginning it's not what you asked for? And maybe they could have fixed it, but to eat half of it and then complain to get it from, I just think it's uncouth. Sometimes I think, who raised you? Because it doesn't make sense to do that. It's
agree.
Embarrassing. It really is embarrassing. And I'm the type, I would pay my bill and I would walk out if anybody did that around me. I would walk out.
Who's guilty of that most, in your opinion, Simone? Women or men trying to dodge a check? Who's complaining, just based on your experience, what you've seen in real life, TV, whatever, social media? Who's more likely to complain to get a free meal?
Women. In my space, women. My cousin, oh my God, I'll never go out with her anymore. She does that big time. It's so freaking embarrassing. I swear, it is horribly. She'll complain and ask for certain things to be knocked off the check, and I just feel I was like, if you don't have the money, just don't go out. Don't embarrass me, because I might want to come back to this place. Do that on your own dang on time.
Exactly.
We get, like, through the chat, we got men, we got women, It looks like somebody said the fat men. Come on now. What you mean by that, Marcel Stitz? Hold on. And Diego says it has to be a legitimate complaint. But no, if it's a habit or unnecessary, absolutely. I cannot deal with that. I'm not hard to please. You know what? When it comes to my food, I don't mind paying for good food. I think the higher up you go by scale of a restaurant, the less problems you have, in my opinion. What are your thoughts? The higher up you go, and I'm talking about fancy restaurant, we're talking like fancy, medium, low vibrational restaurant where everything's fried, blah blah blah. In your opinion, the higher up you go, are they more likely to get the order right?
Yes, I say yes.
Okay, Cinnamon says yes. Mildred?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
When you go to a quality restaurant, that's what they want you to come back for. You got to pay for the service that you actually get. So I've had very few problems at high end restaurants.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah,
Simone?
they specialize in excellency.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with everyone else. I haven't had as many problems when I go to something high end. It's usually something a little bit on the lower end that I've had some issues with, but I'm very finicky with my food. If I send something back, I'm not eating there because I don't want what's coming back out because I always feel someone's going to do something to my food. So I don't play around when it comes to that. So yeah.
All right. We're going to switch to a different question, y'all. And this is based on a hot topic. A couple of days ago, we saw T.I. and his son King get into some type of confrontation at a football game. What is it? The Atlanta Falcons football game, right? In your opinion, is it okay for a parent to put their hands on a child? I'm gonna start with Cinnamon. I'm gonna skip you first. Let me go to Lala, and then Cinnamon. I'm coming to you last. Okay.
Okay.
It Queen, for me, it depends on the situation. I think there's a time and place, and I do believe in disciplining your children. I really do. But when they reach a certain age and they're past their 20s, I don't think you're in a position to be putting your hands on them. And I think, don't get me wrong, I think King is hella disrespectful. I thought the way he treated his mother and father in that event was disgusting. But they have to take the blame for that because of the way they raised him, or lack of raising him, should I say. So I don't agree with them putting their hands on him in that place. Maybe at home, yeah, but there's a time and place, and to put your family business out there, knowing there's people recording, knowing that everybody can see what's going on, I just think it was very wrong. It was very wrong to do that. It was not the right time and place.
I like how you said if they have to go there, then that's on the parent. Y'all, when you're in situations like that and you see the likes of a T.I., what's her name? Tiny, and how disrespectful King appears to be, who dropped the ball? Whose fault is that? Is that the parent's fault that your grown kid is out?
Absolutely.
Or
Yeah.
is
It's the
that
parents' fault. Yes, the parents' fault.
Yes,
Yes,
it
it
is.
is.
okay? That's the
Also,
parent's fault.
Queen, there
Tell
was
us why.
something. Sorry, there was this was mentioned a couple of years back during their show, or he must have mentioned it, King, that he never used to live with them. He used to live with his grandma, and he only used to come over to film.
Mm.
So that could be an issue, and it is
That
the parents' fault. It's always the parents' fault because you are the parent, you are the responsible one to bring this child into this earth, so you have to lay the foundations for them. So if you're not laying the correct foundations for them and your kids turn out a certain way, it's your fault, because as a parent you should have the compassion, the understanding to help your child if they're in need. And if you're not doing that, it's your fault. That's if you're not doing that.
All right. Simone Wealthy, what are your thoughts? Listen, you can, wherever you want to start. We're talking about the T.I. and King situation. You can attack the fight straight up, or you can look at it from a generalized perspective. When it comes to raising your kids, you've done all you can do. You've done all you can do, right? You feel like you have, right? And then you have a child like King. That's on you, or that's on King?
I mean, he's an adult now, so he is what, 19, 20 years old. So I put it on both of them because I think they allowed him to be disrespectful for so long, and I guess they thought it wasn't going to turn back on them. You know, the Waffle House incident, It was another incident in a parking lot. He's had this bravado, and every time a situation has occurred, Ti takes up for him. So, and it's been very disrespectful. He makes light of it, and now it turned back on them. Now, as far as him living, I just learned of that a few days ago about him living majority with the grandmother. I don't know. I mean, obviously, you should spend a lot of time with your children. And, obviously they were on the road. He was in jail some parts of the time. So, it may be some faulty things there, but as far as respect, that young man has no respect. I think that's more on him because they tend to be, I mean, not on him, I mean on the parent, and how they've handled these situations. They've just pretty much swept it under the rug, and I think it came back to bite them in the ass Sunday at the game. So that respect thing, even when they can, disagree with you, but it's a way to disagree with you. He was the way that he acted that day was the way he's been acting the other situation. So I just think they thought he would never do it to them, but he's very disrespectful. And I do believe now on the flip side, play devil's advocate, I do believe there is some hurt because when he made some statements on not verbal, what do you call it, Instagram stories or whatever, he put, if you didn't want me or something, just say it or something to that effect. So maybe he feels like, because a lot of people do call him names. They, talk about how he looks and all of that. So he may feel some sort of way, and maybe they haven't given him as much attention as they have some of the other children, but the oldest girl even said it as well. She's kind of shared the same sentiments that she felt like, she didn't get enough attention from especially her mom because she was always with Ti. So I don't know. I mean, as far as the respect thing, I think it does fall more on the parents, but I think it is some layers to that too. Maybe, they didn't give him enough attention as well.
All right. Were you done, Simone?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay, so based on what Simone has said, y'all in the chat, and I think I got to go to Mildred and then Cinnamon. I just want to get a pulse check in the chat based on what you've heard, based on what you've seen. Ti, Tiny, King, whose fault is that? That King is showing up like this as an adult. In your opinion, whose fault is it? Is that on King or is that on the parents? Mildred, what are your thoughts?
I think it's on both King and the parents. There's a lack of respect on both. Clearly, I don't, the whole family dynamics is kind of troubling for me. All of the allegations. You think the kids haven't heard that? You think the kids haven't been teased about that? They have. So I think it's everybody. It's King, and we got to remember we're not our children's only influence.
Mm-hmm.
That was a hell of a wrap up. We're not our children's only influence. You know what? That's fair. You know what? I didn't think about it like that, even though it's so obvious. Herford says, how old is King? I don't really know his exact age, to be honest with you. I don't know, D. Does anybody know his exact age? But Cinnamon Swirl.
I think he's 19. I think he's 19.
Okay. And what are your thoughts on just this whole thing with King bucking his parents? First of all, I would have knocked the fuck out of him. Period.
Oh, absolutely.
I would have got arrested. Absolutely. What are your thoughts?
I would have knocked the hell out of him. Being 19 years old, so, and so he's a young adult. He's not a grown man. But parents who are out of control raise and bear children who are out of control. So therefore, as a parent, my job when raising my 4 children was you have to set boundaries. You have to let children know, and children are very smart. They know at the age of 1 which parent they can get away with stuff. So you have to set boundaries really early with children and let them know who is the boss, who is in control, who is the authority. So a lot of times people want to start to show their kids who's in charge when they get 7 or 8. It's too late. Their personality has been established. They already understand the concept of who's in control. So you have to establish this very early in life to a child at the age of 1 and 2 who was in control and they are not. So in my opinion, T.I. and Tiny may have been not they weren't there for their children. They didn't show their children how to respect themselves, how to respect their parents, how to respect other people, and it shows now as they get older. So
All
it
right.
starts when they're children. Teach them how to respect themselves and how to respect authority.
That's fair. That's fair. And I understand what y'all are saying about how he may be hurt. T.I. said they showed a clip, and I see welcome Renaissance. I'll come to you in just a second. They showed a clip of the family hustle, right? After all of this happened. And T.I. was saying that they coddle him. Are women responsible for coddling these boys? Overwatering them. You remember a while back I gave y'all an example of when I bought new plants during COVID, and one of my plants was trying to die. We took it to the nursery because it was a big plant. And the guy says, "Oh, you're overwatering it." He says both men and women tend to kill plants. Women over nurture, men under nurture. Women, do you feel like women, if we can keep it real, come on now, are women, do they have a heavy influence on how these boys turn into the type of man these boys grow up to be? Yes or no?
But see,
Cinnamon.
it's different with this situation, Queen, because he has had his father in his life his entire life. Maybe early
Right.
on when he went to prison, but that was only for a year or two. T.I. has been a heavy presence in his life, regardless if he's living with grandma sometime or not. Tiny is a mother. She's going to nurture her children, but T.I. should have put his foot in his ass early on and checked him and stopped being so disrespectful to people in the public eye. He's been disrespectful since the time he was like 13, 14 when he started rapping and he did that tour. He's been hella disrespectful, but he gets it from his dad because his dad is a butthole. His dad is arrogant. His dad is all that. So I guess he thought that he wasn't going to turn on his ass. But you see what happened. I don't think if T.I. wasn't around, I'd be like, okay, yeah, she probably coddled him, but I don't think she got too many darn kids just coddling him.
Okay,
know?
but the question is, we understand how a father should. The question is, do women contribute to the misbehavior and the dysfunction of grown-ass men, grown boys? That's a yes or a no.
I
Y'all
say
both
yes.
around that one.
I say yes, and I have 3 sons. I have 3 sons and a husband, a brother, and I'm telling you, a lot of times it is done, especially in the Black community when there's no father present. And an example that I can use is my husband. My husband's father left the house when he was young. His mother made a lot of mistakes. And when my husband became a grown man, my mother-in-law will coddle the mess out of him to this day. And I can't stand it. And he does recognize it. And he's starting to put his foot down, but it makes for not an easy situation at home.
Okay, but Simone and I'm playing devil's advocate. I got to push y'all out of your comfort zone. Simone made a good point. She says, T.I., he had a father in a home. So whether it's a single parent, a father in a home, period, do women tend to over influence these boys? Cinnamon says yes. La, what's your thought? Renaissance?
Yes, 150%. Yes, and that's from my own experience because, I'm from a large family of 6, 3 girls, 3 boys, and I came from a 2-parent household. Excuse me. And I have seen my mother coddle my brothers, and that's why they're not where they want to be in life. Well, one of them is, the others are not. So I do believe it's the mother. No matter how much the father is involved, there's only so much that they can do when the mother is always intervening. So yes, 150%. I don't want to say it, but it's the truth. I've witnessed it, and I've witnessed it in so many other communities, not just Black, Arab, Asian, you name it, is a pandemic kind of thing is the mothers. They're obsessed with their sons.
Oh,
Usually,
oh, I
if
want
the
y'all to think about that. Are you obsessed with your son? Milton, no, Renaissance. What are your thoughts on all of this?
I
And then
was
I
going to
think I'm
say,
coming
usually I was
in a
going to
minute. Or is
piggyback
it
off what you
Mildred?
said.
Hold on. Is it Mildred that's next after Renaissance?
It was
I think
Mildred
so.
originally.
Was it the question about coddling our sons?
Yeah, but I'm gonna go to Renaissance. You're
Okay.
next. Renaissance, I think your volume is really low.
Okay, let me cut it up. Is that any better? Is that
What
better?
y'all think?
I'm on my computer, so that may be why it's low.
Get real close to your speaker, huh?
Okay, is that better?
Yeah, that's way better. Mm-hmm.
I think with the coddling, I would definitely agree with that. Even in the two-parent household, if the mother doesn't allow the father to father, you will still have that issue. I even notice it in your comments, Quincy. You have some women that come in and said, if that was my son, I would have hit T.I. or he should have hit my son. I mean, women have to allow the men to parent, and the men have to allow the women to bring their strength. And sometimes the mother does have to back up. My mother and another lady said, and I totally agree with the first lady, and I'm sorry, I'm horrible with names, but my mother always said, you have to put the fear of God in a child before the age of 5. She said, if you don't do it by then, it's lost. And I never understood that. I'm like, what? And I get it as an adult because adults have the premise of God, so we fear him. But for a child, the parents are that presence in the flesh. So it's their responsibility. It doesn't mean you have to abuse them, but you have to give them something to fear. It starts with mama. That's how back in the day, I'm a Gen X. My mama could look at me and I knew I need to straighten up. We lost that somewhere. Parents are losing that because after that, some took it too far. We didn't keep it in balance. But there's some truth there because once that child gets over 7 or 8 and they start to experience and those hormones kick in, there's no click for you to come in and say, wait a minute, hold up. There's no stove because it was never implanted. The seed was never planted. So as they continue to grow and mature, now, unfortunately, he's reached 18, and this is where it gets tricky. I don't care if you have the richest parents. I don't care if you're poor and you hardly find food. Every child can find something that they think their parents didn't do right. It's rich people. Oh my, but so once you hit 18, there's that period where it's hard for you to come in and realize, you know what, I got to take account because if I didn't get it till now, I got to get it now. So I say it's on both. It's on both. The parents need to not, because, T.I., he had his problems too, and you're raising yourself. You know what I'm saying? So how would you deal with you? Tiny running behind.
Wait a minute. Pause on that. You said, how would you deal with you?
How would you deal with you?
Exactly.
Yeah. That's powerful.
Parents change and they grow. My grandmother had 12 children. My mother was the oldest, and my aunt, who was my best friend, was the youngest. And they were not raised by the same woman. So their perception of their mother was different. That's why a woman can have kids and one make it and one don't. But this is the way time goes through. So at this point, I feel for King because it's going to take him a while to forgive his parents and realize now you're an adult. If you didn't get it, oh well, forgive them and knuckle up, and you got to buck. You got to stand on your business, as he said. Now it's time. And they also have to acknowledge it was wrong of Tiny to get up on that screen and tell that boy in public that he used to suck his tongue. He was, well, why would you embarrass that man? His mother, the only woman that the first love of his life. What? How do you think he's going to treat other women? No woman will ever love and respect him. That's going to be his perception. We have to think about this. Everything matters, but nothing does. And so when you look down, everyone needs to take responsibility. What he said was very true. Y'all ain't. Why y'all let them do me like that? He could have been talking to us, but everybody around here talking about me, and so are y'all. You're my parents. When does it stop? I have to always defend myself. Nobody. I think he's attention seeking because he don't feel he ever got attention. Everything is a mirror, folks. We got to wake up. So I think it's both of their faults, but unfortunately he's still 18. So I'm gonna ride on whoever's the oldest needs, because at this point, T.I. and Tiny have had this point in their life, they have been both child and parent. So the responsibility goes back to them. Come on, raise up, folks. Raise up. They should have rose up and hey, baby. Thank you, Susan.
Mildred, what are your thoughts? Oh, Mildred dropped. All right, so look, check it out. That was a hell of a conversation around T.I., Tiny, and King for the hot topic of the day. Let's switch a little bit. I mean, that was a hell of a conversation, and I feel like we can go on and on about it because there's just so many different aspects. Simone brought up a really good point. She's like, but he had a father in the house, right? He had a father in the house, and I think in spite of that, T.I., I'm not saying either one is right or wrong, and I think that's what T.I. was trying to say when they played that clip on Instagram, how he was trying to tell the mothers, back off, tell the women in the house, back off of him. I think at one point when he was little, with T.I. being the father in the house, something happened in the kitchen, and King stormed off. And the women were like going to get him. He's like, let him cry, let him get mad. He a man. Let him go process that and deal with that. Don't coddle him. And I think that's excellent points that you brought up, Simone. But it takes it back to the question, do women tend to overemphasize and kind of push the man aside and run to be their son's rescuer? And I see some people in the chat said, this is a hell of a conversation because my mother raised me, but she loved the boys in the house. You know, the girls are being raised and the boys are being loved.
But that's our nature, though. Isn't that our nature as a woman? Most women, we will, try to protect our children. Hopefully, both boys and girls, we do try to protect them. I think I see more coddling when it comes to single mothers more so than married women. That's, my experience. But married women, can they coddle their sons? Yeah. But I see it more with the single mother more so in my experience.
Somebody said, let me go to this comment. I just came by. Let me find that comment. Hold on. Where you at? This person, who is it? Get a Clue says it's interesting how everything always goes back to the women. In this situation, I think it's fair. He had, like Simone said, he had a father in the house that was saying, you know what? Let him go cry. Let him go have a tantrum. And the moms and the grandma were like, no, you hurt his feelings. So the women went to coddle. And the man was saying, which is the father, T.I., in that clip that I'm referring to, it's on Instagram, let him get mad. Don't save him. Don't rescue him. But the women over-influenced. So in that situation, we are talking about the women. I think women have a lot of influence over their male sons. If you disagree, or you want to add a little bit more texture to your comment, Get a Clue, please feel free to come up. You're always welcome to come up because it's just hard to kind of interpret what it is that you're trying to say or needing to emphasize.
I have some. Can I say something? Yeah. So sure. When it comes to raising children, the mother and the father, they have a different role. Most men don't get involved in the day-to-day activities of raising a child until there's an issue. Do you understand what I mean by where there's an issue? So if there's not like a severe issue, most men don't tend to be involved in the everyday raising of children. Women are. But where there are cases where there's a man involved and it's time for discipline, some women can't stomach it. They may think that the man is being too harsh and might be too violent for them because, a lot of times when people lose their temper, the discipline of children, in my opinion, is incorrect. Like my 4 children, I can count on one hand the times that they have been disciplined together. I don't believe in that type of discipline. I believe in speaking to children and taking things away from them, not the physical part of it, because violence only begets violence. So we have to be careful when that fine line that's there about beating your children. You have to be very careful. And if you have to put your hands on your child, make sure it's not in a violent way. Sometimes we get so angry, it would appear that you were fighting another grown person versus the discipline of your children.
I would have fought King we would have told that popcorn stand up in the stadium, honey. Hot dogs would have been on the floor.
Now there are times, right, because he's older, but I see
Period.
people handle 7-year-olds like they're
No.
grown people.
No,
So a
I-
lot of times that happens and it carries over. You understand? See, when that's something when we violently beat our children, it doesn't start when they're at like 12 or 13. When it's being done, it's being done at an earlier age. So we have to be careful. But that's the difference, that men are not usually involved in the day-to-day. Women are, and that's just our DNA, the way that we're the makeup of how children are raised. Women are usually there most of the time, so that's why I think they may coddle a little bit more. But it's all about making your children understand the responsibility of what they do, that there is a cause effect of everything that they do. And we have to make sure kids understand that when they're old enough, even when they're younger, you have to sit down and make them understand you did something wrong. There's a consequence of you doing wrong, and you may be punished, and punishment is not always physical.
I got
Not,
it. I
not
got it.
hot dogs on the floor, Queen. Not hot dogs on the
Listen, I want to ask this question. B. Taylor, I'm going to bring you up, and I want to specifically talk to something you posted, and then I'm Cheryl Howard. I see you in the back, and I want to give the panel also, B. Taylor, when you respond to this question, okay? And I want to give everybody an opportunity to respond to your answer. You said, turn them boys loose to their fathers. They are not women. They do not need coddling. And I saw a few other comments about age 7 or 8. You have 2 boys. Would you turn your boys loose to the fathers? Would you follow your own advice? B. Taylor.
Hey, y'all. So my son just turned 7 yesterday. And then I have a 2-year-old. He just turned 2 last month. So yes, knowing that I have boys, my first mistake was with my first son. I did coddle him until the age of like 5. And I feel like mothers, we do need to understand that we do have our time with our sons. I would say up till 5, and then let dad come in and take over, or a male figure come in and take over with the discipline, because I'm learning that boys are just very different, and I cannot coddle him because they know how to manipulate. I'm not going to sit here and lie that boys know how to manipulate their mothers because they tug at our hearts. We do have a sense of biasness that our boys, like, I think women have we have a bias with boys that they're the ones that's going to love us. And, we look at them like, oh, those are babies. They just love us so much. That's true love. There's no other love like a boy mom love. Like, even I participated in that rhetoric, right? And I realized that when his behavior was getting out of control and he can outrun me, I was like, oh, hell no. So now when my son, my 8-year-old, acts up, his dad disciplines him. And to the point where when my son acts up at school, his dad don't even tell me. I have to look at it in the report because his dad, and I'll be like, oh, why did so-and-so get in trouble on this day? And he's like, oh, I already handled it. And I'm like, oh, okay. That's it. I just say, oh, okay. And then one day
you gonna give your son to when he turns 8, or
well,
you
he's
give
8 now, but
that's what I want to
the
know.
way
when you say turn these boys over, and let's just assume you're not married to the father of your son.
I'm not.
Okay.
So I'm technically, like, I guess what you said, a single mom or whatever, but the dads are inactive. So we the way we do custody, I have them 5 days on, I don't have them 5 days off. So I have them for 5 days, dad have them for 5 days. So we equally split up the time with our children. So they see me a certain amount of time, they see their dad at the same amount of time. There's no every other weekend type stuff. If you're in a situation where it's every other weekend, no, they need to be with their fathers more. They need to be with dad more.
Are you giving your son over to your dad?
He pretty much is, because he's always with his dad. But he still needs to see mom. I'm still in the picture. I don't ever think when you say turn loose, I think people think
you
like
said turn loose.
Yes, but that doesn't.
I'm gonna put it back up here. And look, I'm playing devil's advocate because I want us, because I there's a lot of single mothers too. So I really want you to peel that. Just think about
I think
it's turn them boys loose. abuse?
I
Does that
think it
mean
depends on the
he has
situation.
primary custody? That's what we're trying to
I
figure
think
out.
it depends on the situation because I live in the same city as my children's father. Now, when my son turned 13, yes, he could fully go over there and live with his dad fully.
Okay.
If he wants to see me every other weekend or however he wants to do that, but because they are I have I have two. So I want my sons to spend time together. That's why I have them for the 5 days on because I want them to spend time together as brothers. I don't want one over there with his dad. He don't really know his sibling like that. Like, so while he's growing up, but when he becomes an age where he's like, oh, that's my little brother, I'm doing my own thing with my friends. Yeah, if he comes to me and say, or when his dad comes to me and say, I'm ready to have him for full custody, like full time, especially if it's really needed, then yeah. But I feel like right now what we got set up works for us because it's 5 days on, 5 days off. But
Okay.
his dad comes and get him. Actually, his dad has him more than I do as of lately. So it's just kind of like it just works out for us. So I think it depends on the custody. Like you live in a different state. Yeah, you may want to consider, sending him with his dad because I just believe wholeheartedly like boys need that father discipline. They really do. And we could yell and shout at the end of the day. Like my son is like, that's mom. That's mom. He's gonna act right and I'll give him that look, but there's nothing like the discipline his father give him. Like, for example, I'ma yell at him and take stuff from him. That's what I do. His dad, he acts up. He's like making him run drills outside. I'm not gonna think of doing stuff like that, and nor that's in me to do that. But that's something that his dad know that he's teaching him a certain type of discipline that I don't even know about. I would
Gotcha.
never think of running drills outside in the hot sun would be a part of discipline.
Got it.
But
No,
his
thank
dad
you,
knew.
B. Taylor. I had to ask because you dropped it in the chat and you was doubling down, and I really needed you to peel that back, so that I wanted to make sure we were following. But let me
Girl,
go.
first of all, wait, hold on, because somebody sound like
Ah,
child
B.
abuse.
Taylor, you are
Hold on,
not.
no. Somebody said in the comment that sounds like child abuse.
Oh,
That's
hold
your
on, hold on. Back up,
motherfucking
back up. Let me go to the
problem.
next person. I gotta
Women
go to
sit
the
there
next
and
person.
sit there and
Hold
try to
that
say
thought.
it's child
Hold
abuse.
that thought. Hold that thought, B. Taylor. Cheryl Howard, welcome to the stage. What are your
Hello, good
thoughts about
morning,
the
Queen
conversation?
Sheba, in the chat, and everybody. How you
Good
doing?
morning. Turn up
Hey,
your volume just a
Cheryl.
little
Hey,
bit.
good. Hey, how y'all doing? How you
Hey,
doing?
welcome. Turn up your volume, Cheryl.
Oh, okay, hold on for a minute.
Get a
Can you
clue.
hear
You
me?
next.
Can you
Get a
hear me
clue. You
now?
next. Go ahead, Cheryl.
Oh, all right, you can hear me now.
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay. Well, listen. I, my answer is yes. There are many mothers who coddle their sons. And I think with King, if they would have put their foot on his neck from a very young age, because there would be no second time disrespecting me. For one thing, I'm from back in the day, back old days. My teeth would be on the floor if I talked to my parents that way. My teeth, eyeballs, and everything else would be on the floor. It would be no second time. So I just think that if they would have put their foot on King's neck when he was younger, and I mean way younger, he would have that respect. He would look at his parents with respect because he would have no choice. You have to, not coddle, especially boys. Boys don't need to be coddled. They need to be held accountable, and they need to be held accountable for and be responsible. And I just think that Ti and Tiny, they're too much of a homie and not more of a parent. If that's my opinion. I think there should be more parents than homies. And Ti is more like he acts too much like his homie. I've seen him on a lot of their reality shows, and I've seen them out together. Sometimes like on social media. Sometimes, and there's times when you didn't see him, but they coddled him. Tiny coddled him too much. She coddled him. She didn't let him. She didn't make him take responsibility and make him take accountability. And sometimes you can create a monster when you do that. You have to put your foot down on a child. My son is 38 years old. He couldn't talk to me like that. First of all, he get kicked out. I'm not even gonna put my hands on you. I'm kicking you out. What you gonna do? Call CPS on me? You're 38. You should have been out a long time ago. so you're not gonna talk to me like that. All your stuff going in the street. And then you're on your own. And then now you got no choice but to be a man because now you're on your own. And that's what he need to do. Stop rewarding King with all these expensive things, cars and jewelry and all this stuff. You can't reward bad behavior. And I think that they've done too much of rewarding him with luxury things and cars and all of that and rewarding him for bad behavior. And at 19, you can't coddle yourself, because I'm telling you, they'll turn out like Martell Holt. And nobody wants their sons to be like Martell, coddling, not letting him take accountability. And that's why at 40-something years old, he's the way he is. And King is going to end up that way too. When he end up being Martell's age, he's not going to ever take accountability for anything that he does. And you got to start children at a young age. It's almost like raising a puppy. You start the puppy at a young age, and you train him to bite only when necessary, to protect only when necessary, never to turn on their owner. So you have to start them when they're real young. I don't play with my kids. You're not going to, my son, no, all your shit will be, excuse me, I'm sorry. All your stuff will be in the street, period. That's the bottom line.
Well, thank you so much, Cheryl. Thank
welcome.
you. And we got a couple of people in the chat that agree with you. B. Taylor, I'm coming back to you. Cool your jets. I'm coming back. Get a clue. I know you came up here to clear up some stuff that you put in the chat. You got the floor.
Hey, Queen Sheba. Hey, Chad. Hey, everybody.
Hey
I
there.
love your
Good
shows.
morning.
Good morning. So, yeah, what I was trying to say was that it seems like anytime it has something to do with children, all the blame goes on to the women, because we are the primary caregivers in most cases and nurturers. I don't like that. I don't like that type of thinking that it's okay for men. It's not okay for men to say that very same thing about us. We reject it when we hear men say that. But then we come on, to spaces like this or in conversations like this, and then produce the same rhetoric. I did watch the show the Family Hustle. I am not a fan of Ti at all, and I solely watched that show to critique it. And basically, what I saw is that he is extremely volatile. This is my observation. He is extremely volatile in how he communicates with everybody in his family, including his own mother. Um, he's very arrogant. He's very bossy, and in my opinion, he's very narcissistic. And because of those traits, he, in my opinion, does not allow other people to express themselves. So where Tiny seems like she's coddling him, it's because his dad is constantly rah rah rah. At some point in time, you do have to back it up. Now, when we're talking about women and how we deal with our sons in those specific type of situations, I would not place all the blame on her, because in that show I did see him on several occasions correct her, Tiny, his wife, about how she speaks to her kids, the kids that they share together. The only one child that he never has anything to say about is her oldest one, and that's because that's her baby with from a prior relationship, and so he tiptoes around that. So I kind of noticed that dynamic. I don't necessarily think that she was coddling him. I think that she tries to give him encouragement because she knows how bad his father beats his self-esteem down. And he does. I've seen him on other little shows, T.I. and his son, people making fun of literally his son's teeth, which are, preposterous. I mean, they're, um, I don't like them. But I wouldn't allow somebody to talk like that about my kid. I'm not gonna chime in and laugh and add a joke. I'm gonna check you. But at home, when we all together and it's us, yeah, your teeth is too big. You know what I'm saying? But he does a lot of hazing. And that's why I just don't agree with the way that conversation was going.
All right. No, thank you. Thank you for tuning in and just coming up to give a little bit more clarity to your comment in the chat. Listen, y'all, we got to move on. So I want to do really quick a response to anything everybody said. And then I want to get back to a comment that was in the chat and let B. Taylor respond. But we got to keep our responses brief. 30 seconds or less.
I'm
Anybody want to
sorry.
respond? No, you're fine. I'm not. No. Look, I'm talking. We're about to do a reaction to what everybody has said. So that's not specific to you. Get a clue. Cinnamon Swirl, do you have any reactions to what the panel just put out, y'all?
No. I'll
Okay,
let someone
Simone
else speak.
Okay, Simone Wealthy.
No. I've said what I said, and I agree with most of you.
Renaissance.
No, I'm fine.
B. Taylor.
Look, I see you had to put me last.
No, I still got 3 more to
Look,
go.
I was like, she gave me time to calm down because I was for sure about to curse this lady out. So
No, you were not.
Look,
You
I got
figured-
time. I know. Look, I calmed down because that was like that's triggering. That this is exactly what I was talking about.
Let
This
me go to
lady-
the comment. Hold on.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is you. Come on, you can't be that sensitive.
No, it's just that's triggering as in like this. You're literally an example of what I'm talking about. This is why these kids are so damn bad these days. They don't have no sense of awareness of respect or discipline. You can't even discipline your children without somebody yelling out. That's child abuse. I never once said we put our hands on our son. I said his dad had him running drills outside. That's what you do in sports. It's a reason why a lot of men push their boys to be in sports because it teaches them a sense of discipline. It teaches them a sense of discipline and respect for their coach and leadership and to work hard for shit. That's why we got a whole bunch of little lazy ass little boys running around now wanting to be YouTubers and dancers and rappers because they don't understand discipline and hard work. They want shit easy. Y'all women be sitting up there coddling these little boys like they little girls and be ignoring your daughters, treating your daughters like shit, be hard on your daughters instead of putting that action towards your son. You want to baby your son because, oh, the world is so hard for them, but then treat your daughters like shit because that's how you really see yourself. So I'm saying all together that was triggering because I bet you if I said my daughter this, my daughter that, a lot of women wouldn't have nothing to say if I made her go in there and wash them dishes and stuff. So I'm just saying that we need to understand that's a perfect example of coddling. I never said put hands on my child, but as soon as I said dad had him running drills to teach him a certain type of discipline, that's child abuse. That right there, you're a perfect example.
Because I did say 30 seconds. I want to be fair. Pause. Let me go
I
back.
have something to say now. I have something to say. I 100% agree. I 100% agree with everything B. Taylor just said. Everything she just said, I 100% agree. And I got 3 boys and 1 daughter, and I agree with everything she just said. Everything.
I do too. I can
Everything.
See, I knew I was coming back. I said, that's why B. Taylor, I said, pause. I got to let my people react on top. Renaissance, 30 seconds to let you want to react.
No, I totally agree. Coming back behind sis, she's totally correct. And that's part of the problem. And what I'll back up where she's a lot of times in these households, they'll treat the girls because the women want the women to be strong. So we'll shite them. We won't really let them, just go out there and be strong, do this, learn all this, learn how to cook. But the boys, you kind of like, you treat them good. You want to give them to, because you're really thinking they're going to have to work and provide for a woman. So you want them to be ready to do it. No, that's not what we here for, folks. It don't work like that.
Exactly.
On a psychological level, what B said is totally correct. Boys learn it from physical activity. When they get out there and have to work and get sore and their muscles hurt, that teaches them the same thing that a girl can get from a different way. I'm not fit to get out there and run with you and go through all it. But I can, mama don't go on out there with your daddy. And when he have you running that ball, but that's not abuse. Rather than to beat him with a stitching cord, it's the learning and transition to learn what your kids need at certain stages in their life, how things affect men and women differently. These things are truth. Women are different from men, but we both have beautiful qualities to give. I give you kudos for you being a single mother with two boys from different fathers, and you have found a way to manage to give both your sons everything they need and then still have a relationship. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
It is.
All right.
Beautiful.
All right.
Yeah.
We have
Let
to
me go
share.
to Simone real quick. 30 seconds or less. You want to respond to B. Taylor? Then I got to go to my bottom row. Simone, what are your thoughts?
Oh, I totally agree with her. Totally agree. That's all I got.
That's all you got?
In my opinion, B. Taylor deserves the Mother of the Year award right now because she
Mother
is
of the
doing the
decade.
damn
This is
thing.
the new
Listen, if
decade.
we listen to what she is saying, she
This
has
number.
2 boys and
Don't
she is
pump her up, Cinnamon.
co-parenting.
Don't pump her up, Cinnamon.
Oh no, because she is
Okay.
listen, she is not with the baby, the father of the children, but they are working together for the good of the children. She is doing exactly what we need more in our community to be done that way, so our children can have an excellent future. I give her kudos. Thank you, Queen. Thank you.
And I'll say
Thank
one more
you.
thing.
Thank
And
you.
no shade, but if she's able to pull this off, she also chose good men to lay down with.
Yes.
Because even if it didn't
Absolutely.
work out, they was mature enough to take care of their children and do what
Yeah.
they needed to do. And so
Yes.
often as women, we don't take our accountability. If you're in a place right now where you can, maybe I didn't choose correctly.
That's
I
right.
agree.
Be
Let me
this
go to the
That's
bottom row,
right.
y'all. Let me
That's
get to the
right.
bottom row. They've been waiting patiently. Let me get to Cheryl Howard. 30 seconds or less. Any response to what B. Taylor shared about how the father of her children, they're hands on, and what's she used an instance of running sprints, and somebody in the chat shared their opinion that felt or seemed sort of abusive. What are your thoughts, Cheryl? And then Journey to Jasmine, you're up next, and then get a clue. We got to keep it.
Oh,
Go.
it's not to me. I don't think it's abuse. I mean, you know, like I said earlier, you got to keep your foot on these kids' neck, especially when they're much younger. You got to keep your foot on their neck. It's not abuse. It's being stern and disciplined. You know, so that they can be productive adults in in society, and and take responsibility and accountability. So you're doing good. They're doing good, I think, in my opinion. That's all I gotta
All right. B. Taylor, they loving on you this morning. I hope you so you're
Go B.
receiving all this
Taylor.
good
Go B.
Thank
Taylor.
y'all. I appreciate it. I do. They're good fathers. They're good fathers for sure.
I hope you're receiving all this good old palace love over here,
I am.
honey.
This is why I love the palace. Thank y'all.
Yes. Journey to Jasmine, what are your thoughts? You pulled up a little late, but what are your thoughts?
I know, girl. I had just woke up when the thing had started this morning. I ain't gonna lie. But anyway, good morning, y'all. First of all, let me say, B. Taylor, kudos to you for having a good co-parenting relationship with your children's father, because I mean that's a rare. I don't want to say it's a rare gem. I don't know the stats, but from the stories I know, baby, good on you. That's what I say. But I want to piggyback off of excuse me. I want to piggyback off of something that you said in regards to how mothers tend to coddle their sons and um, raise their daughters to the point of being mean to their daughters. You said something about they see themselves in their daughters and they don't like themselves. So I can relate to that personally, because and this is why I'm a huge advocate for two parent households and stuff, because I grew up in one, and I personally feel if it was not for my dad, I don't know where I would be, because my mom did not know who she was. She was very mean to me, but my brothers just they have a totally different relationship with my mom, and my dad came back and apologized to me like actually this year. It would basically say apologizing for me getting in trouble for I guess losing my virginity too early, because he thought that my mama had these conversations with me. I'm like, my mama didn't talk to me about nothing. She didn't even talk to me about having a period. Come on now. Like, he didn't know none of this. And he just thought all the responsibility was gonna go to her. Like, I was an afterthought to my mom.
So
And
was
to
there
this day.
between your mom
Mm-hmm.
and dad. If your dad wasn't aware of what your mom was sharing or not sharing with you, is it
Mm-hmm.
fair to assume that there was a disconnection between the two parents in the house?
Yeah, it's definitely fair to assume that. It's definitely fair. I mean, it was like they was basically kids when they came together. My mom was 21, my dad was 23. So we all grew together, as a people, and everything is everything now. But like we were at dinner on Monday night, and my dad was. It was something I said, and he was like, "Yeah, my grandma used to say that all the time. This and the third." And it just popped in my brain. I said, "Dang, Dad, I said, don't get offended by this, but I think you might have been a grandma in your last life, just being funny." And then I was like, "Nah, I'm serious because you got serious maternal energy, and honestly, I feel like my dad was way more of a nurturer to me than my mom. Like for real, my mom couldn't stand me. It was very weird. But my brothers just have a totally different experience. And I can really attest it does not matter whether or not it's a single mother situation or married situation. If that woman is still in that male identified, um, whole just not pouring into yourself mode, she is not going to like her daughter for the most part. It just is it does not matter what the relationship is with the dad at all. And a lot of people get that misconstrued thinking it's just single mothers. It's not.
And keep in mind, Journey to Jasmine is talking about a two-parent household. How long have your parents been married?
37 years.
37 years, y'all. So this could happen within a two-parent household or outside a two-parent household. And thank you for sharing Journey to Jasmine. That was deep. Somebody said this was very deep, yet educational and profound. And I have to agree. And I just want to pop up one quick question before we go to another thought provoking. I want to pop up a comment and share it. And I want to get y'all's feedback to this with a yes or no or whatever. Sandra Sanderson says, okay, so what about when the mother is not with the father of the child and the boyfriend is in the child's life? And when he wants to step in and the mother stops it, what then? What happens then? I want to jump in on this one. First of all, the intent and the goal should always be marriage. Should always be marriage, right? Because if you want a man, in my opinion, and or a woman to have that much influence or to be able to share that influence and that love, you need to be thinking about a forever together. Because if not, and if that doesn't work with simply a boyfriend or a girlfriend, you start the process all over again with the next person. So, in my opinion, dating, you don't have that much influence on my child. And what I mean by that, I'm talking about deep influence. I'm not talking about, hey, 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 don't do that. Don't hit the door. No, that's not nice. I'm not talking about that level. I'm talking about you're not stepping in if we're just dating to 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 the to the level of a TI of what a father or what the primary parent would typically do. No, not from a boyfriend or girlfriend. Now, let me just go to the chat. Renaissance, would you allow that much influence from a boyfriend?
Not from a boyfriend, but here's what I will say. This is where you take the time that when he's there, because he's going to get to know your son, you vetting him out too. We dating, right? This could be his father figure. So this is the time when he has those feelings and he wants to step in, that you can talk to boyfriend and get a feeling of what his parenting ideals and views are. And this will give you the clue as if you want him to even be your husband. Once he puts the ring on your finger and he becomes your husband, then you have given him the right to step in and do what he wanted to do a year ago. But you said, hold on, no, just talk to me and give me some advice on what you think I should have done. And maybe you can go back to your son and then implement that at boyfriend stage. But if you allow him to be husband, then you have vetted him. And I'm telling you why he's asking, then talk to him about that, because you're going to have to parent together anyway. So when he becomes husband, then you release the reins and let him be husband and father role in that home.
Good point. Simone Wealthy, what are your thoughts when it comes to boyfriend, girlfriend relationships, or how much influence based on Sandra's comment? What happens when the boyfriend wants to step in? Are you allowing a man that's your boyfriend to step in and have a major influence by way of discipline when it comes to your children?
Not a boyfriend, not at all. I'm very cautious when it comes to having quote unquote people you're dating meet your children. I don't even think they need to meet unless it's going to be a serious situation and you're talking possible marriage, and then meet to see when if that child or children even like him. But just casual, they don't even need to meet, in my opinion, because there's too many predators out here that I
Exactly.
don't know. Maybe that's just my experience. If it's not serious, we're just dating. You don't even need to meet my children, period. If it gets to a fiance situation, then obviously yes, but I would have to see if my children or my son even likes you, and that is a big thing too. If they don't like you, I'm not gonna like you.
I
So
know.
it's to me it's layered, but I'm not going to give a boyfriend I mean, I might take advice, that of course, lightweight stuff, but they don't even need to meet, in my opinion, until it gets serious. And I
All
mean,
right.
we're getting ready to go walk down the aisle serious.
Okay. I want you to think about this, Mom, coming back. Some will say that's a bit too late because now you got a marriage. You're about to get married. The kids haven't met him. What happens if there's problems? Think about that, Simone. I'm coming back. Cinnamon swirl. How much influence is too much? How much is just right? Would you let a boyfriend step in and own a piece of discipline when it comes to your child? B. Taylor, you're up next.
No, I would not let a boyfriend step in to handle that. I would let them have the role as an adult in a situation where, like you said, they can say, tell them different little things that they shouldn't do in their behavior. But as far as disciplining them, no. And I'm old school. I don't believe in all this shacking up and letting a man waste your time for 3 and 4 years. I don't believe in that at 60 years old. And I've never believed in that when I was even in my 20s. I never let a man waste that much time of my life. Pretty much within 6 months to a year if this is the person you want to be with, and so be it. But don't let men waste your time. But no, I would not let a boyfriend come in and discipline my child. No, I would
I
not.
got it. Listen, I think they riding with you in the chat. B. Taylor, when it comes to who you're dating, how much influence are you allowing?
So actually, this has been a situation for me with my second son's father. Before I got pregnant, we were together. We were serious. I had a problem at first because my son didn't really respect him. So it was a serious relationship. My son kind of he told him to do something, and my son didn't do it, and my son actually lied. And I had I wanted to be the way I handled that situation was not right. I was taking the child side over an adult in the situation, and my child was lying about it. And it made him not want to be a part of the situation if I was going to let my child just run things and run amok. And he had, wasn't going to be believed if he said my child said a cuss word and my child lied about it and I believe my child. I think as single mothers, we tend to kind of try to protect our child in a way, but then understand that's still an adult, right? So there needs to be some type of discipline there, as in physical discipline. No, he never felt the need to do that because my child has a father, a very active father. So I think men know, any man that I date, once they know that my children have active fathers, they kind of know their role already, that they don't want to step on another man's toes. So they don't physically do anything because they don't ever need to do that because of my situation. So they'll tell them what to do and say, hey, you need to stop doing that before I tell your mom. That's okay. I think anybody can tell my children that. It could be Sheba that could tell one of my sons that, and I would be okay with it because it takes a village. If you're going to be around my children, it takes a village. So don't have people around your children that you don't trust. If you don't trust them people, don't have them around your kids, because if your kids are acting up, you need to have your village to step in when you're not there. So that's
absolutely.
Listen, B. Taylor, my co-host is in love with you. Cinnamon don't just co-sign for anybody now.
I sure don't. I don't, because I'm not for foolishness at all. And these kids need to be put in their place. I'm stern. And so my kids are not, they have never been disrespectful and never will. My oldest is 38. And like I said, I got gaps. My oldest is 38, then my second is 25. So there's a 13-year gap. So I went having one child to having like three, you know, because the two middle, the oldest son, and then the one after him are 2 years apart, and then my baby is 16, so I had him older. But I'm stern. I don't think that people should play with kids. Put them in their space. I am the parent, and you have to respect other adults around you. So I don't play stuff like that. But she is right. There's so many adults who are irresponsible. And so you cannot let people like that around your children. Because like she said, when you are not there, your children need to be checked at all times. They need to understand, like when I was growing up, everybody on the block would call my grandmother and tell them, your granddaughter was down here acting a fool. That's the way it needs to be. We need a village today to keep these kids in check and let them know, oh no, we ain't gonna let you act a damn fool, because you can end up behind bars. And that's what they want. So it's our responsibility to yank them by the chain and say, get your act together and raise them well. Let's get back to raising children the old-fashioned way, because it's about their future. We let them act a damn fool, they will be a damn fool, and then behind the prison gates, and that's not what we want. We want our children to be respectable, part of society.
Amen.
Give to society, not take from society. We don't want to see our young men and women behind bars. Too many of us are behind bars because nobody put their foot in their ass when they were younger.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Listen, speaking of acting the damn fool, I think we done did the damn thing on this conversation today. And unfortunately, I do have to wrap up in the next 5 minutes. Journey to Jasmine, Cheryl Howard, I see you. But let me welcome Candace to the stage real quick. She's been waiting backstage. Candace, what are your thoughts when it comes to the conversation?
This all has been really helpful. I personally am in a situation like this kind of. My husband is the father of my last two children, but not of my daughter, and we struggled at first with her falling in line and understanding that it was no longer just me and her, and we went the family counseling route because I kind of took my mom's approach, like Miss Cinnamon, I'm gonna put my foot in your behind, do this, do that. But I tried the family counseling approach to see what was her issue. Am I missing something? And her issue was she felt like you are about to have your brand new family now, and I don't have the same last name, little old me, and he's a good dad, but he's not my dad. And so she became a little jealous of her siblings' relationship, despite us always making sure we gave her this special attention, or we celebrated her day or made her the center. It just seemed to just not be enough. And what we were lacking was village support. My family felt like, oh, you could have just been a nurse and made good money just with one child. Why you have to get married again and this. And so all that negativity surrounded us. And it wasn't until we moved away and really had to find our own lane and legacy building per se, that things got better, because my parents are deceased. So my aunties and my uncles on both sides of my family are very protective of me, but their protectivity wasn't what we needed. We needed them to stand with me and my husband and make sure that all members of the family felt present. And the only family we were getting that type of support from was my husband's mother, who loved all my kids regardless, but it was almost like we entered their family, and then I started having children, and she just felt so different or alone. And so once we moved away, we started our own way of living and doing our own traditions. Things finally got better. We stayed in counseling. I stayed praying about the situation. And my husband kept trying. He wasn't weird about if you needed to run to the store and get something. He didn't make her, he just kept trying to be a father to her. And it didn't help back then. It didn't help when she would go see her dad and he would sometimes show up and he wouldn't. So then we're stuck putting the pieces back together, trying to love on her, trying to remind her, well, at least you got us. And I'm sorry, I can't control his dynamics and his situation. So just living as being on the other side of that, because now my daughter's 18. She's in UCLA. She's going to school to be a social worker. That's what now, why we picked that expensive school and we couldn't go to these Texas schools, we just trying to love.
Let's go. UCLA. That's a good
again. UCLA. Y'all heard that lady.
Yeah.
But it took years to get to this. And so for people who are brand new into this, or who are at the baby stage of trying to be with your man and deal with the father of the child, I've been there. That is tough, especially when you try to seek positive intent, but the other side is just no go. It's just no play. And that's what I experienced. And so over time, we just had to just make the best of our situation, even in the low points, So that's all I had to say.
No, thank you. Thank you for sharing. That's a hell of a testimony. And I hope that you all are picking up what she's putting down. And I hope someone found some value and nuggets of wisdom in what she was able to share. And listen, what it comes down to is consistency, hard work, effort from both sides, and then finding your tribe by way of a village. Y'all, we got to take a 30-second break real quick. I got to let my dogs out to potty, and we're going to wrap up with what you're taking away and what you're leaving. Each of the panelists will give you a takeaway or what they're leaving with. Give us 30 seconds, and we'll be right back. All right, we are back, y'all. I really feel like a highly trained professional with this morning show. Oh, Lordy. Listen, thank you all for hanging in there. I know some of you got to log off for work, and typically we would be done by now, but it was a hell of a conversation, so we did not want to leave you hanging. With that said, what we do is when we wrap up our show, we leave you with final takeaways, either something we're taking away from today's conversation or something that we're leaving you with as the audience. Final takeaway. Let's see. Let's start with Candace. What are you taking away, or what are you leaving the audience with? And you got 30 seconds, Queen.
So what I'm going to leave with is making sure that I do not over nurture, over coddle my little 3-year-old son. I've always had girls, but now that's something, just listening to everyone's take on it, that's something I'm taking away. And also what I'm leaving with is I hope someone got something through what we were saying. We just kept trying, and we use family counseling, we use prayer, and then we knew we had to move away to figure it out. So I hope I left someone with some good nuggets if you're brand new into that. And also another thing I'm taking is Miss Cinnamon's foot in the ass. Man, it's almost like my mama was on the show. Like, my mama used that as one of her favorite sayings, was foot in the ass. So I was like, oh, no, mama did not I did anything. That's what I'm taking away.
Cinnamon, go and get them t-shirts. Go and get the hoodies. Put in the ass hoodies.
My mother would say that, and my mother would say it, and my grandfather would say it. So I got it good. I got it from the family.
Foot in the ass. I love it. Hold on. Renaissance. What are you leaving, or what are you taking away? 30-second roundup.
Balance, just try to work to give balance with your children. I know with the discipline and things like that, don't give too much, don't water too much, but don't water too little. Don't, just doing everything in balance, I think, is the biggest takeaway, so that, the child can get what it needs. And it's really about balancing within yourself, getting therapy. But that's the biggest thing. I think just finding that balance where it's not too excessive or not enough.
I think that's beautiful. Balance, balance, balance. Remember that, y'all.
Because you can love, but you don't want to love them to death. You know what I'm saying? So you just, you have to tread lightly.
Yeah.
Tread lightly.
And I think people are able to relate to what you're saying. Lies, more lies says good word, balance. I have to agree. Cheryl Howard, what are your thoughts? Considering the tone of the conversation, the things that we explored today, hot topics, thought-provoking questions, all of that. What are you taking away, or what are you leaving the audience with?
Well, I'm not going to take anything away, but I leave the audience with just, if you're going to discipline your child, just make sure that if your spouse is someone you could trust. Make sure your children like him, and discipline. Because like the lady said, we want them to be productive adults in this society. And and I agree with it. What everybody said, I agree with what you said. I agree with everything everyone was saying, and that's it for me.
Thank you,
That's what I
Queen.
take. That's what I give to it. I don't take away nothing because I agree with everybody, on the panel, as far as what they were saying.
I gotta ride with you. I think there was a lot of nuggets and gems dropped. I have to
Yes.
ride with you. I agree, Cheryl. Layana Dale says, B. Taylor is my spirit mom. My ex is my village, and he and my son are still tight. Next week, we'll be celebrating my son's college graduation. Honey, listen, that's what we love to hear.
Wow.
Congratulations. That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. Simone Wealthy, what are you leaving us with, or what are you taking away from this conversation today?
Ooh, I think everyone made some very excellent points. As far as what I'm leaving with, I mean, basically, we need to nurture more and not coddle our children, nurture in ways that, we can still discipline and, teach them lessons, but not coddle, especially not over coddle. And just in possible blended families, just takes a lot of effort and support, especially the caller right before was saying. I think that was an excellent example there. It just takes a lot of effort and support, and keep trying, and in counseling, of course. But that's what I got.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Simone. We always appreciate you pulling up on Wednesday mornings and sharing your thought leadership with us. Let's go to Journey to Jasmine. What are you leaving, or what are you taking away, Queen, from this discussion? Journey to Jasmine, quit playing with me. It sounds like, what are you doing with your audio? Y'all, Journey to Jasmine keeps me laughing. What? Oh, she always has audio problems, y'all. We are so used to it. She gonna come back up in a minute. But let's go to, here she comes.
Queen.
You there, Journey?
Yes, as soon as I picked up my phone, my thumb just hit it, and it's so annoying. I need a bigger phone. Anyway, y'all have like the smallest iPhone there is. But anyway, Lord, what am I leaving with? Yes. So my youngest brother has a blended family, and my sister-in-law came in with a daughter already, and it's just always been in the back of my mind just to make sure that she always feels special, and well, not even special, but it feels like she knows that she's not separate from our family, and my whole family does a good job at that. But this just really made me think about it even more, just to make sure, like, she doesn't feel like I felt growing up or anything. Because sometimes I see her mom doing that because she a little male identified too, love her to death, but she is. And I see them doting on my nephew way more than they do her sometimes. My brother doesn't do it. Like, my brother, that's his kids all the way around. He don't play. But I just want to make sure that she's loved on. So I just want to make sure I go the extra mile, even going forward, to make sure that she's loved and she knows she's loved, and the newest baby coming in too, because she's a girl too. So I just want to make sure that the young ladies coming up in our family know that they can be coddled too. They don't have to be just disciplined. That's not the only way to show love. So they can grow up and, just be well rounded for sure.
We receive it. Thank you, Queen. I think that's an excellent call out, especially coming from, I think from the millennials. They're listening, they're paying attention. So I appreciate that, Jasmine. That's a lot of wisdom that you just shared, making sure that we make others feel warm and welcomed in our village and not assuming that we are doing the right thing, but being able to go the extra mile. We're going to shift to you, B. Taylor. What are you taking away, or what are you leaving the audience with as your wrap up?
Okay, well, thank you, Queen Sheba, for having this panel discussion. I think it was a beautiful discussion. It was healing. And shout out to, I think it was Loyana, for saying that. I really do appreciate it. For those who don't know, I am a YouTuber. You can follow me on B Taylor TV, especially mothers. I have videos about co-parenting and, just maneuvering as a single mother in the dating world. Girl, you always throw me off with that. I'm like, oh, what's that?
I know, that's why you better come in here and plug your you better tell
period. Yes, I gotta plug in, I gotta
put in the ass. That's right.
But what I do want to say that women, it is important to have a village. We're not meant to be alone. We're not meant to be secluded when it comes down to our children. Just as much as we wanted our mothers to pour into us or our friendships to pour into us, please remember to pour into your daughters and give her grace and patience and not write her off as she's being sassy and have an attitude. Also give her grace that she's growing up in a male-dominated, male-centered world, and that it's going to be hard for her. Her self-esteem is going to be tested. Her faith and everything is going to be tested. And it's important to have a strong mother to back her up, to give her that self-esteem and confidence to go out into the world and win. The world is a cold world. And I know you look at your sons like, oh, it's so hard for him. But just think about your daughter, because she's on the lower totem pole in this patriarchy. I cannot say that word today.
Patriarchy.
Lord, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, that system. And so, yeah, you can nurture your children. Just don't coddle them. But if you do want to coddle the girls, because they're going to need that extra love from their mother as well. And it's okay to discipline your children as well. So that's it. That's all.
Excellent. Thank you, B. Taylor. As always, we appreciate you coming and shaking the table, baby. Shake, rattle, and roll. And I just love it how you come up, you stand 10 toes down on what you said, and you are not afraid to push back. I absolutely love the dynamic that you bring. Cinnamon Swirl, what are your thoughts? What are you leaving or taking away? Or what are you leaving the audience with or taking away from this conversation?
What I'm leaving with is how important love is. And people need to understand that when it comes to love, discipline is love. Sometimes people think that when you discipline, it's because you don't like it, but it truly is because you love and you care about someone, the outcome. And so discipline is a part of love. And another thing that I want to give people is that by me having a 38-year-old child, being a mother is a job that I will do the rest of my life until the day that I leave this earth. I have to give her advice almost on a daily basis, how to maneuver her marriage, how to maneuver having a daughter, that's just a teenager now, how to maneuver her one and only son, how to maneuver her baby who's a child who she said she gave birth to. She's just like her. So being a mother is a thankless job, and it's something that we will do to the day that we die. It doesn't end once your children turn 18 or 21. It's a job that we will have for the rest of our life. And I love being a mother, and I love the fact that all 4 of my children, we have great relationships, and when they have hard times, they come and put their shoulder on my come and put their head on my shoulder, because they know I love them and I will always do the best for them.
That's beautiful.
That's my takeaway.
That's
my
beautiful.
what I'm leaving with. Yes.
Yeah, that is really
I'm proud. One of my greatest accomplishments is having 4 kids. And I love the fact that they all know that they can come to me regardless. They can all come to me, and that we all have a great relationship. And I'm so thankful to God that when I was 22 years old and I gave birth to my daughter, that I made a decision, even though my ex-husband was running the streets. You know, he was 4 years older than me, but he was still running the streets like he was single and now the father. But I said to myself, I gave birth to a child, and she didn't ask to be here. So it's my responsibility to stay in the house with her on Saturday nights when my ex-husband was running the streets, because we couldn't do it together any longer, because I felt as though it was my responsibility on Saturday morning. I couldn't have a hangover on Saturday because I had a child in the house. So it was my responsibility to get up early and take her to dance class when she wanted to go to dance, to be up early so she can have a meal early in the morning. It's our responsibility as women. So take it seriously and know that it will never end until the day that you die.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much for that beautiful example of how women can be balanced and being committed to their family, but also doing so from a safe and feminine place of exhibiting love. Because I think a lot of you shared, enough of you shared, that oftentimes we raise the girls, we're hard on them. But, you know, be careful, because raising girls also cuts off their love supply. And we want these girls to show up lovely in the world, strong but lovely. And the Bible says to be as sharp as a serpent, but as gentle as a dove, right? And we pour that love into the boys, and sometimes the girls are being starved to death. So, Cinnamon, that was a great explanation of how you can do it as a mother. You can still be strong and come with a foot in the ass approach, but yet you can lay your head on my shoulder at the same time if you need me. So I absolutely love it. And Cinnamon, if you don't get those hoodies made, girl, listen, I would rock one. I would be the first to rock one. Yes, I just love it. Before I leave you all with just what I want to leave you with as an audience, what I would like to do is do a community shout out to Linda Gamble. Y'all, Linda Gamble is a hell of a moderator. I'm sorry. We got to hold and make space for this queen.
She mods in several
Linda shows the hell up and shows out no matter what time of day, what time or night, impromptu, planned, premiering. She is always in the building. And Linda, you have been consistent. You have been steady. No matter what you've gone through, the challenges, the highs, the low, you have shown up. And not only does she show up for the palace, she shows up for a lot of YouTubers. So we love you, Linda. We see you, and your efforts and your commitments do not go unnoticed.
We love
and
you.
I wanted to give her that community recognition because she deserves it. And what I leave you all with is I leave you all with love from today's conversation. I leave you all with love, because love is the biggest gift of them all. And love changes things. I know people say prayer changes things, but so does love. And I think prayer is a form of love. So just remember that. Move in love. Move in love. And that's what I leave you all with. I thank you all for tuning in today. It was a hell of a conversation. We will see you all next week. God bless you. I hope everybody had a fantastic Thanksgiving. But remember, gratitude and Thanksgiving is every day, not just the last Thursday. That's right. Not just the last Thursday in November. And with that being said, God bless you all. Move in love and have a wonderful day.
Bye, Queen.
Have a great day, everybody.
Have a great day, Queen.
Bye-bye.
Have a great day, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.